From the corner of the ballroom, I watched my wife, Ava, walk onto the stage. She looked incredible tonight, draped in a seafoam green gown that clung to her curves. It was the dress I'd given her for her birthday last year. But tonight, she wore the dress I bought her while holding another man's arm. His name was Liam Caldwell, her new executive assistant. A kid, barely 3 months out of his MBA program. In front of everyone, she was about to give him a limited edition watch. My last shred of hope shattered. I stormed the stage, grabbed the microphone, and announced our divorce. And now, for a special presentation, the MC chirped, his voice echoing through the hotel ballroom. Our CEO, Ava Sterling, has a surprise for this year's Employee of the Year, Mr. Liam Caldwell. A smug smile spread across Liam's face as he accepted a velvet box from Ava's hands. The moment he opened it, a collective gasp swept through the crowd. A Patek Philippe, a limited edition model worth over $100,000. The air left my lungs. It was the watch I'd always wanted. 7 years ago, when we were broke and dreaming, Ava had promised me, as soon as the company makes real money, I'm buying that for you. Now, her tech firm was on the verge of its IPO, and that watch was being gifted to another man. Ava, were you trying to humiliate me? Liam's performance this past quarter has been nothing short of phenomenal. Ava's voice, smooth and confident, boomed from the speakers. There was a hint of something more than professional admiration in her tone. This is a token of the company's immense gratitude. Liam fastened the watch, his grin widening. Thank you, Miss Sterling. I love you. He pulled her into a hug. The room erupted in applause, punctuated by a few rowdy catcalls from the sales department. I caught a few colleagues shooting me glances filled with pity. Everyone knew I was Ava's husband, the supportive artist who'd shown up for her big night. Liam's eyes found mine across the room. The corner of his mouth twitched into a smirk. I just want to thank Ms. Sterling for her mentorship. Meeting her has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. He paused, letting the silence hang. It's a damn shame such an incredible woman is already married. Otherwise, I would be doing everything in my power to win her over. The applause died instantly. The atmosphere turned awkward. Even Ava's perfect smile faltered. Every eye in the room swiveled to me, waiting for a reaction. I set my champagne flute down with a quiet click and walked toward the stage. Ava's eyes widened in panic. Ethan, he was just joking. It wasn't funny. I snatched the microphone from a stand. I have an announcement, I said, my voice dangerously calm. As of this moment, my marriage to Ava Sterling is over. I want a divorce. Stunned silence. Ava immediately dropped Liam's arm, her composure finally cracking. Ethan, what are you doing? He was kidding. I ignored her, turning to face Liam. The prick still had an arrogant smirk plastered on his face. Whoa, man, don't get so emotional. On a great night like this, we should get wrecked, I said, and my fist connected with his nose. A sickening crunch echoed through the mic, followed by a wet, muffled snap. Blood sprayed from Liam's nostrils as he staggered backward, crashing into the champagne tower behind him. Glass shattered everywhere. He tried to scramble up, but I was already on him. I shoved his face down into the glittering pile of broken flutes and spilled champagne. Think it's cute to flirt with my wife in public? I growled, grinding his face into the shards. Think it's romantic to declare your love for her? Liam's mouth filled with blood and glass. He bucked and gurgled, unable to form words. Don't you gurgle at me. I snarled, slapping him hard across the face twice. The sharp sting of it seemed to snap him back to a more acute sense of pain, and his body went rigid. Ava, finally breaking from her shock, screamed for security to pull me off. By the time they did, Liam had passed out. Ethan, have you lost your mind? Ava shrieked, rushing to Liam's side and cradling his bloody head. Seeing them together like that, my rage boiled over into a bitter laugh. Looking at you too? Yeah, I think I have. My eyes were bloodshot with fury. I wanted to destroy them. Ava wouldn't meet my gaze. She fumbled for her phone. Hello, 911. I need to report an assault. The holding cell I sat on a cold, steel bench, staring at the sliver of sky visible through the high, barred window. Day 1, a dull, concrete gray. Day 2, a darker, leaden gray. Day 3, it rained. On the 7th day, Ava finally showed up. She looked flawless, her makeup perfect. Through the visitation glass, I could smell expensive perfume and the lingering scent of a steak dinner. She sighed dramatically. You were so reckless, Ethan. Luckily, Liam is being generous. He agreed to press misdemeanor charges. You'll only be in for 15 days. When I didn't respond, she continued. His nose is broken in 3 places. He has severe lacerations in his mouth. Her voice was flat, clinical. I offered him a generous settlement, and he agreed not to pursue felony charges. A settlement? I laughed, a hollow, dead sound. You mean you paid him off by taking him to dinner and sleeping with him? Don't be like that, she hissed, her voice low. I'm helping you. Do you have any idea what aggravated assault carries? I got him to sign an affidavit. What was the settlement? I asked again, cutting her off. Let me guess. You agreed to continue your special arrangement? Her face hardened. There is nothing going on between us. Nothing? I leaned forward. You don't get to use that word, Ava. You knew exactly what he wanted from day one. An heir to the Caldwell Group fortune, working as your assistant for 60 grand a year. What do you think he was after? I know what it looks like, she said, a note of exhaustion in her voice. But Liam is Jack Caldwell's only son. With that connection, the company's IPO is guaranteed. So you traded your husband for your career. Got it. I shook my head, a wave of disgust washing over me. I couldn't believe I married this woman. That's enough. It's a business strategy. Ava snapped, her composure cracking. Ethan, I'm building our future. Once the company is stable, we'll be happy. There is no we. I slammed my palm against the glass partition. Did you think about us when you had me thrown in here? I had to give Liam something. He was seriously injured. Go to hell, I said, laughing mirthlessly. Think whatever you want, Ava said, standing up. You have another week. Use the time to cool off. As I watched her walk away, I swore to myself I would burn this marriage to the ground. On the morning of the 15th day, I walked out of the county jail. Ava's red Porsche was parked at the curb. She didn't get out. I slid into the passenger seat. The car was filled with the faint scent of cologne, Liam's brand. Home? She asked, starting the engine. To the courthouse. We're filing for divorce. Ava slammed on the brakes. Don't be a child, Ethan. This has gone on long enough. I pulled a folded document from my pocket and held it out to her. A divorce petition I'd written in my cell. She didn't take it. Her voice rose. Because I gave him a watch? Is that what this is about? It's because you're shameless, I said, my voice flat. I told you it was for the IPO. And now our marriage is over. You can focus on your IPO. She was speechless for a moment. Then, she took a deep breath, her tone softening. Honey, please stop this. I'll handle the situation with Liam. I promise, no more contact outside of work. I stared at her, then unlocked my phone and showed her the screen. It was a photo of Liam kissing her on the cheek. In this very car, the color drained from Ava's face. Liam sent me that. He sent me a lot of things. I pushed the car door open. Your car smells like him, Ava. You make me sick. I can explain. He ambushed me. It was a surprise. Don't bother. I got out and walked around to her window, leaning down. Read the petition. I want $500,000. I'll see you at the courthouse next week. If you don't show, I'll file publicly in contest. Let's see how your investors feel when the word adultery is attached to your company's IPO. Ethan, she glared at me, her face a mask of fury. You're going to regret this, she seethed. Without me, you're nothing. That little art studio of yours loses tens of thousands a year, and who covers it? Me. Your paintings don't sell. She wasn't wrong. I owned a small art studio. Business was terrible. Ava's money kept it afloat. It was the main reason she looked down on me. But so what? I wasn't going to be her fool, her kept man. I turned my back on her. Don't worry about my life anymore, I said over my shoulder. Just remember the $500,000. Not a penny less. A few seconds later, I heard the roar of her engine as she peeled out. It sounded exactly like her impotent rage. I moved out of our house and started living in my studio. If I was going to be single, I might as well get serious about my career. My plan was to merge my art with social media. To sell paintings, people first had to know I existed. In the age of viral content, live streaming seemed like the place to start. The first few days were a bust. Nobody cared about watching a guy paint landscapes. Even when I paid for promotion, viewers would pop in and leave seconds later. The comments were brutal, boring content. I needed a hook. I spent hours scrolling through top streamers on Twitch and TikTok and found the common denominator: sex appeal. Fine, I could do that. I switched from landscapes to portraits, hiring models to pose for me. They were mostly art students from the University of Texas, young, beautiful, and most importantly, cheap. The change was immediate. My channel's traffic exploded. Viewers, mostly men, flooded my streams. In just a few days, I had over 50,000 followers. Turns out, the old saying was true: get rid of the woman, and your aim becomes true. Back when I was with Ava, I would have worried about what she'd think. Now, I didn't give a damn. The paintings hadn't started selling yet, but the donations from the live streams were rolling in. I was clearing nearly $1,000 per stream. This creator economy thing was no joke. The next morning, Ava showed up at the studio. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Come home," she said. I didn't move. She took a few steps closer, her voice softening. "Are you really going to throw everything away over one stupid incident?" She paused, watching my face. "That photo. I can explain. Liam is handsy. It irritates me, too. But the IPO is at a critical stage. I can't afford to alienate him." She was trying to make me understand. "The company is relying on the Caldwell Group's resources right now. Once we go public, I just need a few more years to gain full independence. Then a few more years." I cut her off. "I can't stomach another minute of you and Liam's disgusting arrangement." I held up my phone again. "You think it was just one photo? You want me to post the rest on Facebook? Maybe when everyone sees them, you'll finally realize this is a big deal." "Ethan," her face flushed. "Can't you be more magnanimous? What's the point of dwelling on this?" "Magnanimous?" I almost laughed out loud. Show me one man who would be magnanimous about this. I shoved my phone in her face, showing her the months of DMs from Liam. The photos of them holding hands, his arm around her waist, his hand on her face, and the taunting messages that came with them. "Just cop a feel today. Ava's skin is so smooth. She told me she likes me best. Guess you're not treating your wife right, bro." "Ah, just kidding. You're not mad, are you, Ethan?" "Ava's working late tonight. I told her she might as well not go home. She's thinking about it." Every word was a poison needle twisting in my gut. "For the last few months, I've been looking at this stuff. Do you have any idea how that feels?" My voice was a low growl. If I hadn't completely lost all respect for you, I would have killed him already. Ava's eyes scanned the screen, the color draining from her face. I saw a flicker of guilt, of panic. "Honey." She reached for me, her voice trembling. "Honey." I had no idea he was being so awful behind my back. "I swear to you, you're the only one I love. The only one you love." I pulled my phone back. The absurdity was breathtaking. "Ava, if you have any decency left, just let me go. Sign the papers. I can't live like this anymore." "You really want a divorce?" she shrieked, as if I'd just stepped on her tail. The guilt vanished, replaced by indignation. "What about what you promised me? You said you'd make me happy. Did you? I'm the one who's been supporting this family while you play artist. The least you could do is be a little more understanding." What I promised. The hypocrisy was so thick I could taste it. "I'm the one who gave up a tenure-track position at our ISD for you. The dean begged me to stay. I could have been a full professor by now. But who was it that wanted to move back to Austin to start a company? You begged me to come with you. I sacrificed my career for you, and now you have the nerve to call me a failure." My hands clenched into fists. If I had moved to New York, I wouldn't be in this position. Every sacrifice I made was for you. Where's your conscience? Ava, did you sell that along with your dignity? Ava's face went pale, then red. She was cornered, but still defiant. "I don't care. You took a vow. You promised to love me for the rest of your life." I laughed coldly. "And you promised to be faithful. I've told you 100 times, I have no feelings for Liam. It's all for show. For show." A wave of nausea hit me. I pointed to the door. "Get out." A married woman justifying this kind of behavior so casually, it was sickening. She recoiled, her chest heaving. "Fine, Ethan. Be tough. Without my connections, you'll never sell a single painting. Let's see how long you last." Slam! The door rattled in its frame. Maybe she was right. In this city, without her network, my art was worthless. But so what? I had my live stream. Ava's office. Ava stared at the documents on her desk, her thoughts a tangled mess. She couldn't wrap her head around it. How could Ethan be so stubborn, so final? networking, making concessions for business. It was normal. Ms. Sterling. Liam's voice snapped her back to reality. His head was wrapped in bandages, but his eyes burned with an unsettling intensity. A guy like Ethan is nothing but a leech, he said, his voice raspy. He lives off you. Let him go. Let him see what the real world is like. Once he's broke and desperate, he'll come crawling back, begging you to take him back. Then you'll have him right where you want him. He'll never dare to act up again. Ava chewed on her lip. It was true. For years, Ethan had been completely dependent on her. What was he without her? That $500,000 would only last so long, especially with a studio that bled money. Without her contacts, he was finished. The thought gave her a surge of confidence. Yes, let him suffer a little. It would teach him a lesson. She lowered her gaze and gave a barely perceptible nod. Liam's heart soared. Once they were officially done, it was only a matter of time. Ava, you're next. The day of the divorce finally arrived. I got to the county courthouse, and, to my surprise, Ava was already there, waiting. She saw me and lifted her chin, her expression as arrogant as ever. Ethan, she said, her tone dripping with condescension, if you apologize right now, I'm willing to forget this ever happened. She paused for effect. This is your last chance. Think about it. Without me, you'll lose everything, including that pathetic studio. I nearly laughed in her face. I was now making $2,000 a day in donations from 3 daily streams. I was about to get a check for $500,000. I needed her charity? Stop dreaming. I scoffed, walking past her into the building. Let's get this over with. I don't have all day. You, she sputtered behind me. The process was quick. No arguments, no mandated cooling-off period. The marriage license was replaced with a divorce decree. My mood brightened instantly. Ava clutched her copy, her knuckles white. She stepped in front of me, her eyes as cold as ice. I'll be waiting for you to come crawling back, Ethan. She turned on her heel, stalked to her red Porsche, and sped away. Standing on the courthouse steps, I muttered 3 words to myself. In your dreams. I moved my studio to a cheaper part of town. Hordes of my male followers started showing up, many of them hoping to meet the models. But it drove sales. The new rule was simple. You want to come in and meet the girls? You have to buy a painting first. One day, a woman named Lucy Knight came in. She was beautiful, with a quiet, poetic elegance. She studied every painting carefully before stopping in front of me, her gaze serious. Mr. Vance, she said, your work has real technical skill. You shouldn't be hiding in a place like this. I have connections. I can get you a gallery show. A gallery show. The words echoed in my mind. It had been my dream for as long as I could remember. Ava had never supported it. She'd mocked the idea, saying my work would never sell and a show would just be an embarrassment to her. So, I let the dream die. Now, this stranger was looking at me with genuine admiration, something Ava had never shown me. What's in it for you? I asked, suspicious. Let's just say I'm fulfilling a childhood dream. I always wanted to be a painter, she said with a small smile. I could tell she was lying. Did she have a crush on me? My love life was suddenly getting complicated. Whatever her motive, an opportunity like this was too good to pass up. I pushed my doubts aside and agreed. The opening night at one of downtown Austin's most prestigious galleries was a massive success. The place was packed. Most of the crowd consisted of my followers and the models I painted. The models, in turn, had invited their friends and, more importantly, their wealthy admirers. My name was on everyone's lips. This Ethan Vance guy is a genius. He really captured her spirit. I'm going to ask him to pay me next. I'll even do it for free. You might have to pay him. After tonight, he's going to be a master. Just then, a harsh voice cut through the buzz. Vance, a master? Are you all blind? I looked up and my stomach dropped. Ava and Liam had just walked in. The chatter died. Liam's bandages were off, but the bruises hadn't faded. His lips were still swollen, making him look like he had 2 sausages attached to his face. Ava scanned the paintings on the wall, a sneer on her face. This is what you're peddling now, Ethan? Every single one is a portrait of some half-dressed girl. If I didn't know better, I'd think I'd walked into a brothel. Seeing the anger on my face, she pressed on. I'm just worried for you. Who's going to buy this trash besides a bunch of horny old men? Liam chuckled. My dad redecorates his offices every month. I'm sure he could take a few off your hands, Ethan. As long as you don't mind your precious art ending up in a dumpster after a few weeks. He grinned, practically begging to be punched again. The two of them stood there, preening, thinking they were putting me in my place. They hadn't noticed that the very women they were insulting were standing right next to them, clenching their fists. The air crackled. "You want to throw my face in a dumpster?" One of the models, a 6-foot-tall volleyball player, snarled, getting right in Liam's face. "You've got a lot of nerve for a guy with a sausage mouth." "Yeah, who the hell do you two think you are?" Another one chimed in. That was all it took. The women's anger ignited their admirers. A dozen wealthy tech bros and finance guys, seeing a chance to play hero, rolled up their sleeves and surrounded Liam. "You want to insult my goddess? You're asking for it." Smack! A hand the size of a catcher's mitt cracked across Liam's face, making his head spin. "It was a misunderstanding," Liam stammered, right before another fist caught him in the jaw. The scene descended into a flurry of fists and curses. Men grabbed Liam and started wailing on him. A punch opened a cut over his eye. A steel-toed boot slammed into his gut, sending him flying. He landed in a heap, and as he tried to lift his head, another heavy kick connected with his jaw. Arg! Two of his front teeth, trailing blood, skittered across the polished floor. He clutched his mouth, muffled pleas for mercy escaping through his fingers. "Stop, please. I'm sorry." "You're not sorry enough," one of the guys yelled, winding up for another punch. Meanwhile, the women had descended on Ava, grabbing fistfuls of her hair. "You tramp. You want to insult a master artist? We'll rip that filthy mouth of yours right off." Ava shrieked, thrashing her head back and forth. Long, painted nails raked across her face, leaving red welts. "Get off me. This is assault," she cried, tears streaming down her face, ruining her expensive makeup. Her eyes, wide with terror, pleaded with me for help. Seeing her so pathetic was immensely satisfying. "Hey, break it up. Everyone calm down," I yelled, pretending to push my way through the crowd. On my way, I accidentally kicked Liam squarely in his already ruined mouth. Twice. Gallery staff finally managed to restore order. Liam lay on the floor, a bloody, blubbering mess. He shakily pointed a finger at me. "Ethan, you son of a bitch, you kicked me. I'm calling the cops." Hearing this, Ava, her hair a tangled mess and her face smeared with makeup, grabbed his arm. "No, don't call the police," she hissed. "The company is in the middle of its pre-IPO quiet period. A scandal like this will kill the deal." I casually dusted off my shoes and smiled at them. "She's right. Let's get the media in here. Let everyone see how the heir to the Caldwell Group plays homewrecker. I bet that news would do wonders for your stock price." As I laid out their sordid history, the crowd grew even more hostile. "So he's the other man? And he has the gall to act so arrogant. What a piece of trash. Born with a silver spoon and nothing else. I can't stand people who knowingly break up a marriage." Liam's face turned a deep shade of purple. He shot me a look of pure hatred, but was powerless to do anything. In the end, Ava practically had to drag him out of the gallery as a chorus of boos followed them out the door. At the entrance, she looked back at me one last time. Her eyes were a mixture of pain, humiliation, and raw, undiluted hatred. To my gallery, show may have ended in a brawl, but my reputation skyrocketed. Corporate clients started calling. I was getting commissions not just for portraits, but for decorative pieces and large-scale installations. My career was finally taking off, but my live stream was in trouble. My channel was being flooded by a troll army, spamming the chat with accusations that I was a cheater who had been kicked out of my marriage with nothing and was now reduced to pandering online for cash. The sheer volume of complaints triggered the platform's algorithm, and my account was suspended. It was obvious someone was behind it. My first thought was Ava. She wanted to see me fail, to see me come crawling back. Liam was another likely suspect. Just then my phone buzzed. It was a text from Lucy. "It's the Caldwell Group. They're targeting you." "Caldwell? Damn it. It's Liam, my ex-wife's assistant." I typed back, then decided to tell her the whole story. She was silent for a long time before replying. "Do you still have feelings for Ava? Are you kidding me?" Kissing, holding hands, groping, she let it all happen. "My only feeling for her is disgust." Her reply was almost instant. "I understand. I'll handle this." "She'll handle it?" A warm feeling spread through my chest. I chose my words carefully. "Lucy, I just got out of a bad marriage. I'm not really ready to start a new relationship right now. An audio message popped up. It was her voice, sharp with irritation. Don't flatter yourself, Ethan. So that wasn't it. I was more confused than ever. Then why are you doing this? Making an enemy of the Caldwell Group won't do you any good. The silence on her end was even longer this time. Just as I thought she wasn't going to answer, four words appeared on my screen. I'm not telling you. I had to laugh. When a woman says no, she usually means yes. She was definitely into me. As for Liam, I wasn't about to let him get away with it. I forwarded Lucy all the evidence I had. 11 the next day, Lucy made her move. The internet exploded with stories about Liam Caldwell. The intimate text messages with Ava, the photos of them together, the voicemails he'd sent me to gloat, the same weapons he'd used to torture me were now being used against him. The story went viral. Because Liam was the heir to a major corporation, it shot to the top of Twitter's trending topics. Public opinion was overwhelmingly on my side. The troll farm that had attacked my channel, facing immense pressure, publicly confessed that they had been paid by the Caldwell Group's PR firm to smear me. The complaints that had gotten me banned were traced back to IP addresses inside the Caldwell Group's headquarters. The evidence was undeniable. My account was reinstated. I immediately went live. I didn't play the victim. I just calmly told my story. The heir to the Caldwell Group, Liam, decided he didn't want his cushy corporate job. He went to work as an assistant at my ex-wife's company. Every day, it was little touches, hugs. He sent me photos of them together, thinking that because of his family's power, I couldn't do a thing about it. And my ex-wife? She used the situation to get resources from his family's company. They were a perfect match. My viewership numbers shot through the roof. The chat scrolled so fast it was a blur. Scumbag. The nerve of this homewrecker. Is this how the Caldwell Group does business? Their son is a menace. That Ava woman is no better. A cheater and a user. Boycott Caldwell. Cancel Liam. Bankrupt Ava. Homewrecker Liam, Caldwell Troll Farm, and Ava Sterling Cheater all became top trending hashtags. 12 the door to my studio creaked open. Ava stood there, looking pale and exhausted. Ethan, she said, her voice hoarse. The IPO, it's dead. I didn't answer, just kept cleaning my brushes. She took a few steps into the room, her hands twisting the hem of her shirt. You win. I admit it. I regret everything. Her gaze drifted to the portraits on the wall. I remember you used to pay me all the time. I threw them out, I said curtly. No point in dwelling on the past. A bitter smile touched her lips. Can we start over? I swear, if you take me back, I'll never see Liam again. Not a chance, I said. A flash of her old, angry pride crossed her face, but she quickly suppressed it. Her voice dropped to a near-begging tone. I never let him touch me, Ethan. My body is clean, I swear. I know it was all my fault. What do I have to do for you to forgive me? I'll do anything. This pathetic display was so different from the arrogant woman I'd married. You think because you regret it, I'm just going to forgive you? I scoffed. Fine. Jump off a 30-story building. If you live, I'll give you another chance. Éclair de hair. Just then, a shadow fell across the doorway. Another person had arrived. It was Liam. He looked like hell, sunken eyes, stubble, and a cloud of defeated rage hanging over him. He looked worse than I did after a week in jail. Jesus, what is this stray dog day? I grabbed a broom to shoo them out. Liam's bloodshot eyes were fixed on Ava. He let out a twisted, broken laugh. You think you can just dump me? Dream on, Ava. I went through all this for one reason, to get in your pants. Now that I've lost everything, you owe me one night. If you don't give it to me, I'll haunt you for the rest of your life. Ava was both furious and terrified. Liam, you're insane. All those times you groped me weren't enough. How dare you say these things in front of my husband? Ex-husband. I corrected her, turning to Liam. This is between you two. Leave me out of it. Liam lunged at Ava, his hands closing around her throat. You played me this whole time, and now you're going to act all high and mighty? Ava drove her knee into his groin. He gasped and doubled over. You were the idiot. It had nothing to do with me, she screamed. I never liked you. You only got close to me because of who your father is. She turned to me, her eyes pleading. Ethan, I've never loved anyone but you. Please don't leave me. Bitch, Liam roared, slapping her hard across the face. I'll kill you, Ava shrieked. The two of them descended into a vicious brawl. They clawed, cursed, and shoved. Ava swung her purse, catching Liam on the forehead. Liam grabbed her hair and landed an uppercut to her jaw. Ava kicked his kneecap with the heel of her shoe. Liam ripped her blouse, screaming, "I'll expose you for the tramp you are." Ava retaliated with a well-aimed grab. Liam howled in agony. Seeing that they had inflicted sufficient damage on each other, I casually stepped between them. "Hey, break it up. Liam, calm down." As I was mediating, my foot accidentally tripped him. He stumbled forward, and as I bent down to help him up, my elbow connected sharply with his ribs. He let out a pained cry and collapsed. "Ethan, you mother!" he wheezed from the floor. Ava was panting, her hair a wreck, looking at me with pathetic, hopeful eyes. I dusted off my hands and opened the door. "All right, show's over. Both of you get out. Don't dirty my studio." And I threw them both out onto the street. 13 that night, I posted the security camera footage of their fight online. Ava and Liam's reputations were utterly destroyed. The Caldwell Group stock went into a freefall. Enraged, Liam's father beat him senseless. The beating, combined with his previous injuries, was too much. Liam died in the hospital. His father was arrested for involuntary manslaughter, and a massive corporation teetered on the brink of collapse. A few days later, the Caldwell Group announced its new CEO. When I saw the press photo, I was stunned. It was Lucy. 14, the first time I set foot in the Caldwell Group's headquarters, it was to see the new CEO in her corner office. "So, you're Jack Caldwell's daughter," I said, a wry smile on my face. "Chloe Caldwell. You play your cards very close to the vest." Chloe didn't look up from her paperwork. "Would you have trusted me if I'd introduced myself as Liam's little sister?" She paused. "I always knew my brother was a predator who preyed on the vulnerable. You just happened to be the unlucky one he set his sights on." "That's one way to put it," I said. "Even without you, I would have dealt with him. My methods just would have been messier, but I still don't get it. He was your brother. Why would you do this?" Her expression was unreadable. "My brother spent his entire life tormenting me. My father saw him as his precious heir and me as a bargaining chip for a strategic marriage. He would have married me off to a 60-year-old man if it benefited the company." Her eyes turned as hard as steel. "Why should I pave the way for that worthless piece of trash? They never treated me like family, so I didn't owe them any loyalty." So that's what it was. I was just a pawn in her long game of revenge. "And here I was," I said with a self-deprecating laugh, "thinking you were impressed by my talent. Or maybe even me." Chloe finally looked at me, an odd expression on her face. She slowly crossed her legs, the silk of her stockings whispering. "Mr. Vance," she purred, leaning forward slightly, "I have money, looks, and a line of suitors that stretches from here to Paris. Do you really think," she looked me up and down, then said slowly, "I would be interested in you?" Point taken. I gave her a thumbs up. "Damn, you're good." She slid a check across the polished mahogany desk. $30 million. A token of my appreciation. This concludes our business. She gestured toward the door. "And please, don't come to me if you run into trouble in the future." I picked up the check. Wouldn't dream of it. The woman was a shark. I had to respect it. 15, my streaming career flourished. I took my show on the road, traveling to beautiful landscapes with a rotating cast of models. The combination of stunning scenery and beautiful women was a goldmine. My audience grew, and I accidentally became a travel influencer. With the income from my social media empire and the $30 million in the bank, I was set. Half a year later, I founded my own media company, signing several promising models and influencers. I delegated the day-to-day operations and spent most of my time painting, streaming, and relaxing. Just when I'd almost forgotten Ava existed, she cornered me outside my office building. She had changed dramatically. The designer clothes and perfect makeup were gone. She wore a plain dress and looked 10 years older. "Ethan," she said, her voice timid. How are you? I missed you." "I'm doing great, thanks to you," I replied, my tone polite but distant. Her eyes searched my face. "Are you still single?" "I am," I said. "It's great." A flicker of hope ignited in her eyes. "Ethan, I know I was wrong. I was so wrong. Please, can you give me one more chance? I know you still have feelings for me, don't you?" I laughed. "Feelings for you? Are you serious? Have I sent you so much as a single text in the last 6 months?" She flinched, but pressed on, desperate. Then why are you still single? Why haven't you found someone else? I was done with this conversation. I made a quick call. A minute later, 5 stunningly beautiful women came down from the office and surrounded me, all smiles and playful energy. They were the models I had under contract, young, vibrant, and gorgeous. I casually slung an arm around the shoulders of 2 of them. They leaned into me, laughing. I looked at Ava, whose jaw had dropped. Being single, I said with a smirk, doesn't mean being alone. You understand now. The women chimed in, their voices like musical daggers. Yeah, our boss is very popular. Excuse me, ma'am. Can we help you with something? Is that outfit from a thrift store? Are you from out of town? Their eyes raked over Ava, dissecting her plain clothes and worn-out expression. The humiliation was total. Her face went white. She looked from me to the 5 women, and the last glimmer of hope in her eyes died. She dropped her head and stumbled away, disappearing into the downtown crowd. I watched her go, then patted the model's shoulders. All right, ladies, that's a wrap for today. Let's go get some dinner. My life was just beginning.